What's up? It is your boy JB, and I am here with a brand new show. This is She-Hulk. This is season 1, episode 1, and it is on Disney Plus. The episode is titled Normal Amount of Rage. Alright, you guys, so before we go ahead and jump into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel and you guys are not yet subscribed, do me that favor by subscribing to the channel and liking the video and sharing the video. And with that, without further ado, let's discuss She-Hulk, shall we? All right, you guys. So this episode, it's a typical pilot episode where we are getting an introduction to our character. So her name is Jen. She's a lawyer, and we see her as she's at her office, and she is, giving her closing argument about a case that she's working. So there's a guy that works with her. His name is Dennis. Now, Dennis is not really feeling Jen's closing argument at all. But her paralegal by the name of Nikki is giving her bigging her up, giving her the props, saying, yeah, girl, you got this. But like I said, Dennis not really feeling it. So Nikki says to her after Dennis leaves the office, well, if you don't win the case, you can just Hulk it up. And then in this, it's kind of like, how you have like TV shows like The Office and what's the other show? Abbott Elementary, how they talk to the camera. It's kind of like they're talking, like they know that someone is watching them and they're talking to us. Kind of a la documentary style, right? So she says, yeah, she knows that I'm a Hulk. But you think this is a show about following lawyers, but in order to tell you about that, let me give you a little bit of a backstory. So we see Jen in her backstory, and she is with her cousin, Bruce Banner. So it's happened a few months ago on a trip that she took with him, right? So they're talking about Steve Rogers, aka Captain America. And she believes that Steve was a virgin. She doesn't believe that Steve ever was in a relationship because of all the things that Steve has done over his life. So while they're driving, this spacecraft just lands in front of them, and they veer off the road and just go over a cliff and just flip, flip, flip. So Jen got out of the car, and then Bruce was still in the car, so she got Bruce out of the car. Mind you, Bruce is bleeding, and so is she. She has an open wound. Bruce tells her, I'm bleeding, back up. Well, she didn't get away fast enough because some of Bruce's blood got on her, and she was infected with his Hulk. So we see Jen. So Jen left and she went to a bar. So in the restroom, she's all beat up and bruised and everything. And some ladies come into the restroom thinking that she is a domestic violence victim and that, how can we help you? So they give her some clothes, some shoes, and fix her up. And she's like, I'll just call my cousin to come pick me up. So as Jen is leaving the bar, there are some guys that are following in behind her, bothering her. And then she got upset and she hulked out on them, right? And then she got tackled by Bruce. The one thing I will say about that She-Hulk is the CGI doesn't bother me. It's the CGI wig that is just throwing me. I'm like, that is a terrible wig. Even if it is CGI, it is terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. All right, you guys, so I want to pause here and I want to move forward. So after she got tackled by Bruce, the next morning she wakes up and she's like, Bruce, where are we? So they're in Mexico, and this is a place that, he and Tony built, right? Tony Stark. It's a place that him and Tony built. She finds him down in the lab, and actually at one point he showed her this little thing that he had on that was regulating him and his Hulk. So she says, did a spacecraft land in front of us? He said, yes. He says he wants to get down to the bottom. He feels like they were coming with a message. He wants to get to the bottom of the message. So then she says, so when can I go back to my normal life? He says, you can't. He says, you need to avoid stress. She's like, I'm a lawyer, so how can I really avoid stress, right? So Bruce, at this point, he wants to know basically what triggers her to turn into a Hulk. Hell, that wig that she's wearing would trigger me to turn into a Hulk. So Bruce is doing some things that he feel high stress, things that are making you high stress, fearful. He putting her in situations that he feels will trigger her to become a Hulk. And the first situation he put her in, it definitely triggered her to become a Hulk because she stopped it and she bust open the thing that she was in, and he realized, he was like, "Wait a minute, Jen, are you still in there?" She's like, "Yes, I'm here, Bruce." So he realizes that she is nothing like him. She can control. She doesn't, because he asked her, "So you don't feel like it's another person inside of you?" She says, "No, it's just me in here. It's just me. But how in the hell do I change back?" So he now wants to train her, and he wants to show her the ways of being a Hulk. So I'm gonna pause here, and I am going to go ahead and just push forward. So we see as Bruce and Jen, they're doing a lot of things. So he has this big, huge manual that he wants to show her. But once he realized that there's only one person in there and it's just Jen, he says, "Well, we don't need this." And what else happened? So they started training, right? The one thing I will say about Jen compared to Bruce is, like, Bruce was he got a rock, he threw it, she got a rock, she threw it, and it went further than his. It was everything that Bruce did, Jen did better than Bruce. I was like, okay, I'm feeling it. I like it. Anything you can do, I can do better. I was here for it. But Jen wants to go back to her normal life, right? But Bruce feels like, she needs to find out, what he's already figured out what triggers her. I mean, at one point she was laying in bed and he had this horn and he blew it in her ear. I'm like, anybody would be pissed off by that. If I'm asleep and you come up to me and boop, I'm gonna be pissed too, right? So he wants her to know how to do that. He wants her to be able to control when she transforms. But she's like, I'm a lawyer, and she's like, and I'm a woman. And then she actually got pissed off, and she turned herself into She-Hulk. He's like, you can do that by yourself. He's kind of confused because it's like, you can kind of control this stuff. She's like, yes, Bruce. So Bruce also wants for Jen to be a superhero. Jen is like, I'm not cracked out to be a superhero. I don't want to be a superhero, right? At one point when she was doing better than him, he pushed her over the cliff and she did this to him. She said that was a dick move. But like I said, Bruce wants for Jen to be a superhero, and Jen doesn't want to be a superhero. Jen wants to go back to her life being a lawyer because she went through law school. She's paying for student loan debt, so she wants to do what she went to school to do. But once again, Bruce wants for her to be a superhero. I'm like, Bruce, you can't force her to be a superhero. That's not something you can do. And they got into a fight with each other. I mean, they were beating the hell out of each other. I'm like, damn. You would never guess that they were family the way that they are beating the shit out of each other. You would never guess that they are family. But once that fight ended with them, Bruce said, okay, you know what? If you want to go back to your normal, regular life, go for it. I'm like, that's all she said. She wants to go back to her normal, regular life. So we do see her, and she is in the courtroom. Now, I don't know who this strange ass woman was that just bust through the courtroom, because Jen was about to give her closing argument. And she's like, damn it. And Nikki came up to like, you might want to go, Hulk on that hoe. So she was like, damn it, I like this outfit. So she went Hulk on her, and the woman was like, who are you? She's like, I'm Jen, attorney at law. And Jen whooped the woman's ass, and the people arrested her. And that was really pretty much it with the episode. It wasn't a lot. It was just a lot of backstory with how Jen became Hulk, and we'll see how it progresses forward. I don't know how many episodes they're going to give us of She-Hulk, but I'm here for it. I'm going to continue to review it. I will say I like the fact that She-Hulk does come on Thursdays and not Wednesdays. That makes it a little bit easier for me to actually watch it and review it. And it's only 30-minute episode. So that's why this video is really short, because it's just a 30-minute episode. I was expecting, kind of like what Ms. Marvel was, 45 minutes to an hour, but it's 30 minutes, kind of like kind of similar to WandaVision, because WandaVision was only a 30-minute show as well. But that's all I got, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about this first episode of She-Hulk. If you watched it, let me know in the comment section, and we will discuss it going forward. And I will see you guys again later for episode number 25 of Don Brothers. So until then, you guys stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Wear a mask. Socially distance. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys in the next one.